Welcome to the Summers Woodworking Show. It's season 4, episode 14. And tonight we're interviewing my buddy from another mother, my bro from another mother, Chris Pine over at the Chris Pine Workshop. We're going to start with roll call, and then we'll get to you, Chris, okay?
All right.
And I'll start with Shane. You want to tell everybody who you are or where they can find you? What kind of woodworking you do?
Hi, everybody. I am Shane. I'm with Shane's Hobby Shop. And right now, you can find me at my house in this recliner. I'm all over social network under Shane's Hobby Shop, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Soon, I'm going to be having a website up. It's not up yet, but fixing to be. It's under shane'shobbyshop.com. As for woodworking, I basically build anything out of wood. I do outside furniture, inside furniture, you name it, and I build it.
Sounds good. And my other brother from another mother, Donald.
What's up? I'm Donald. My YouTube channel is Donald Vlogifies Woodshop. My website is rednecknohow.com. And I'm usually doing woodworking, and when I'm not, I'm doing silliness and baking cakes.
In his pajamas.
In my pajamas.
I like cake.
Yeah.
That was good. That was a good one, too, man. I surprised myself on that one.
I think he needs to share.
Yeah.
I did. My roommate ate about half of it.
And then I got my other brother from another mother, David.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm David with DLG Woodwork. Find me on YouTube, DLG Woodwork. I've got a website that I don't do anything but put my videos and project pictures on, basically. So YouTube or Instagram, DLG Woodwork is the best way to find me. I do all sorts of woodworking. I've baked a cake before, but I forgot to record it. So I'll try to catch up with Donald on that maybe soon.
All right, sounds good. And we got Russell, my older brother from another mother. Are you with us, Russ?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Cool. We're just getting things set up. Sorry. I'm Russ from Simply Wooden Creations. You can find me on, just type in Google Simply Wooden Creations. You'll pop me up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and about I don't know, 50 or more places.
Everything okay, Russ?
Yeah, I had some computer issues. The other day, had a lightning storm, and the computer was unplugged and everything, but it still kind of like messed with it. But it didn't hurt it too bad. I don't know what it did to it, but Windows wigged out. But anyway, I just went down and bought a brand new laptop. So this thing is awesome. It's like, yeah. So I'm just now getting it all set to get everything worked out onto it.
I must be doing updates because you're freezing.
Yeah.
I was going to say, the lightning, it was not my fault.
The whole time I was thinking about it, I was cussing at you, Donald. You were not a good friend at that point.
Yeah, we were just saying offline that I bought Mom a brand new computer about a week or two ago, and it's already doing a major update already. And it was a brand spanking new computer.
Yeah. Well, mine hasn't done any more major updates. It's just that after the lightning strike, first off, it would not go on to the internet. The computer was turned off, but apparently, like Donald, it came in on the internet and through Surge Protector with the internet surge protection. So figure that one out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so the wireless will work without any problem. But the computer started showing, so like I lost a couple of programs. It started some glitches and just doing some things. And I'm like, whoa, wait just one second. So I said, you know what? It's time for an upgrade. So I went down, I went to Best Buy, got this one, brought it back. I had everything backed up, but I started transferring stuff off. But, you know, it takes, if you've got a lot of stuff, like all my programs that I do for my website, you know, all the video editing and all that kind of, it takes a while to get that all back up and running like you had it before. So,
Oh boy, do I know how that is.
I've spent 2 days on this computer getting it up and running to where I feel comfortable that now I could, you know, and the other computer still works. It's just, there's some problems and issues. I'm hoping what will happen is I'll restore it back to factory and some of that stuff will take care of itself.
Did you unplug the power adapter?
Yes, it was unplugged when the lightning storm started, but I did not unplug the internet, the Ethernet cable to the hardwire because it was on a.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's on a surge protection.
That don't matter.
Well, it obviously don't on that one.
My television was on a surge protector, but the HDMI cable, I didn't unplug that, and after we had our lightning whatnot hit and knocked the power out, the HDMI port on the left side doesn't work no more.
Yeah, so it picks out some freaky stuff to work on. So I mean, like I said, it will still connect wirelessly, but as we know, wireless is not near as good as hardwire when you're doing these shows.
Exactly. Well, we're going to go to the man of the hour. My brother from another mother, Chris Pine.
Hey, everybody. It's real good to be here. I'm flattered that you would ask me to come and be the, I guess, the guest person. But you can find you just search Chris Pine Workshop. I do have a website that has been thoroughly neglected, but the stuff that's on there is good. It's just not very current, so I have to catch up on that. But if you search Google, probably the second link will be my YouTube channel, and you can check me out there. And I do lots of different things, just like one of the others was saying. I do wood turning and cabinets and furniture and whatever I just feel like doing at the time. I've really enjoyed the last couple of years as I'm working with a local guy and harvesting local woods and using that and stuff. So a lot of fun to be had in the hobby, and that's what it is for me as a hobby. I'm a aircraft maintenance technician full-time, so full-time dad, husband. I have a large life with a lot of stuff keeping me busy, so I know everyone probably can relate to that. But I do enjoy woodworking and tinkering in the shop, so I appreciate you having me here tonight.
Well, it's been a while since we did a one-on-one. How's your Unisaw still holding up?
Fine. It's doing fine. It's I think I remember correctly. I have a 1951 Unisaw that I purchased from a guy here local, and he had restored it as far as the functionality of it. So it still looks old, and it is old, and but it runs great and works fine, and I kind of like it just the way it is. I don't want to restore the paint and stuff. It just looks like it actually has some use, and he keeps on going. Yeah, it does, and you can really get some really good deals as far as what I have for what I paid for it. It's a really tremendous deal, actually.
You got it, what, about 3 or 4 years ago?
Yes, yeah, and so yeah, if you ever are looking for new tools, I encourage people to look at Craigslist and other sources like that, because goodness sakes, for what you pay for new tools, I think you can get a lot better product from old tools. I really do. It takes a little work, takes a little searching, but you usually can turn up something really nice for the same money.
So the number one question I got, and probably others are thinking the same thing, Why aren't you producing videos as much anymore?
Well, just like I said before, you know, I don't have any other excuse other than I'm just busy. I got a lot going on with my career and other things that I do. And, you know, I looked the other day, or actually this before I came on tonight, and I only put out about one a month last year. So it really did slow down even more than I realized. So if you're not doing projects, there's nothing to video. So I guess that's what's going on with me for a while. But I plan on keep doing what I can and putting out videos. I've got to get busy this month with my 2x4 project. So I plan on doing at least that one and get that done. But I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'll think of something.
Okay, sounds good. You want to tell people what your occupation is?
I work with the Colorado Air National Guard, F-16 maintenance technician. I currently work in the quality assurance office, but I worked as a crew chief on the flight line for more than 20 years, and then I ended up in the QA office. And my career, I've been blessed. I can't say that enough with where I work and the people I work with. And, you know, my career is winding down in the big picture of things. I may have about 5 years left or so if I'm lucky. But I love what I do. And that I'm able to do it in maybe a few more years, hopefully, so before I do something else. But that's what I do. Work on F-16s currently.
Yeah, my, what do you call it, ex-brother-in-law? He's in the Navy, and he's looking about retiring. He's been at it for about 20 years. How many years you put in?
As a full, it's kind of confusing for folks if they don't understand. The Air National Guard is a reserve component,
Right.
And I've been an actual, but we have a full-time force as well. You know, you can't just expect people to come in one weekend a month and actually everything runs. So we have a full-time workforce, and I've been part of that for, I went in 87, believe it or not. It's been almost 30 years. And like I said, I just feel so blessed that I'm still able to do. I feel like I'm still actually contributing, and I don't know. I bet I really. It's my pleasure, and doing. I just love it. So, you know, you love. There are days where it is work, no doubt, but there you work another day. Well, I work some days, but great. And what was the question? How long? Yeah, that's how long. So hopefully another few years, and we'll still keep going. But
Yeah.
And Shane, I see in the chat, asked a question. He said, "Do I get to fly any?" No, I don't fly. That's the pilot's job. But I have had a flight in a 2-seater years ago, and got to see how it feels to fly one. But typically, no. They break them, we fix them. That's how it works out.
Hey, you should at least get to fly it, though. You're going to fix it. You got test drive it.
Yeah. No. Excuse me. Well, I guess I'll let that pencil go. No, don't get to do that, unfortunately, but that would be fun.
Yeah, that would be.
You know that tip that you taught us, let's see, I believe it was like 2 or 3 years ago, where if you got a crack, at the end of the crack, drill a hole and it stops the cracking. That was an excellent.
Yeah, thanks. It can. I mean, usually that's an old sheet metal person taught me that, you know, for you might stop it for a while. Sooner or later, it's going to probably continue on outside the hole, but that's a trick they do sometimes on different, like the skin or whatever. It depends what area, but yeah. Well, thanks. Yeah, it was, I guess I just kind of took that. I always do that. I never really thought about it until someone asked. Yeah.
So tell us, what have you been doing besides work? Anything fun?
Well, you know, see, people always react when I tell them this for some reason. I do have 5 kids, 4 still in the house, and so that keeps me plenty busy right there.
Yeah.
And you know, just the day-to-day. I'm sorry. Good.
I said, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, and then I have been involved in Toastmasters, if anyone knows what that is. It's a public speaking club, if you will. And so I've been working that. The last year I really got into it where they asked me to serve as area director. So that took up a lot of my time as well. But I'm past that year's up. So that's another thing I really enjoy is
Are you going to be
practicing.
doing it this year more?
I'm
Are
sorry.
you doing any more this year?
Well, I'm still involved, but not at that level this next year now. So I'll have a little more time maybe. But
Well, I know a
so
lot
that's-
about you because I keep up with you, but I mean, there's
Sure.
people that
So-
don't.
Yeah, so that's to answer your question. That's some of what's been keeping me busy.
So how long have you, everybody asks the same question. How long have you been woodworking?
When I got married in about 3 years after we got, oh goodness, 25 years ago, that's when I really kind of started doing it because I had a place to do it and a one-car garage. I'm still in that same house, and it's just a one-car garage, so it's a small shop. But I've seen smaller. I've seen some of the guys out there I got nothing to complain about, so I don't complain. But so that's when I really did it. But my stepdad was a cabinet maker, so I've been around woodworking most of my life, and that was back, you know, in the days when you didn't just go to the big box store and buy cabinets. They didn't sell them that way, so you had to make them, and that's what he used to do. So that was kind of my influence there a little bit, and got me interested. And so you know,
was it your father that inspired you to do woodworking, or?
I guess so. I mean, I had an interest probably from him, and then you know, it's just fun, as we all know. It's just fun to do and make things. So I started doing, I don't know, maybe it's typical, you know, the outdoor furniture, the Adirondack chairs and things like that. And you know, before you knew it, I made a crib. I remember that. I actually did not get it done before my son was born, our first child. I finished it a couple months after, but he didn't really need it then yet anyway. But so that was a lot of fun, and we've used that crib with all our kids, and so I still have that. And you know, it's fun to look back on that project or look at the product of that project because it's pretty lousy, really. It's it's not a great looking crib. By my eyes today, it's not. At least everybody else seems to think it looks. But you know, you scrutinize, I suppose, more so being the guy who made it. But
we are our worst critic. So
yeah,
Yes, we are.
I suppose. Yeah.
that's cool, though. All you kids
got
have the same crib, huh?
I got
Jane.
a question in the chat room from Gerald Vance Woodworks. Say, Chris, what is your favorite finish for your furniture?
You know, I'm not a big finish guy. I mean, I don't know a lot about finishing. You know, furniture is I want a little tougher finish, probably. So polyurethanes and stuff like that is what I typically, and I even, you know, it was always oil-based for years and years and years. But if you really look at it, a water-based finish is a very tough finish. It does not change the color of the wood as much as the oil-based finish does. But, you know, depending on the application, I've done cabinets like maple cabinets where I didn't want the color of the wood to change as much as the oil would, and use a water base on that. It really, really works well. And it's a super tough finish. So that's typically what I use. But depending on the projects, I'm a big fan of Danish oil not on furniture typically, but you could do that, I suppose. It's just furniture tends to be an awful large project to be doing oil finish on, but you know, you could. it's one of my favorite things for small projects is the Danish oil finish.
Okay, well, working off of that, Robert Evans wants to know, what is your favorite wood?
Oh, goodness. You know, it's not the most expensive. It just seems like, you know, you like the stuff that's not cheap always. But I don't know, cherry and maple probably as far as domestic woods. I really like working. Cherry to me is just a pleasure to work with. It just works so well. And, you know, people sometimes have challenges finishing cherry. Well, I really stay away from staining wood. I'll be honest with you. I used to stain a lot of wood when I first started, and I don't know. I tend to just finish it with a clear finish and leave it alone, you know. Let the wood show what it really has there. But
I feel the same way.
I would say that's what I work with a lot. Some walnut, but walnut can get to be pretty expensive. But actually, I have, if you watched my videos this year, I did a video where I went out and harvested, or had a guy cut it up for me, a walnut log. So I don't know, a year or so from now, I'll have some to use, but it's drying, air drying right now. So
when you was at Mitchell's, did you get some wood cut there?
Well, we cut some wood that wasn't my wood. It was just a customer's that he had. That was hickory, or no, mesquite, and that was really actually looked really nice when you cut that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So give me mesquite. I don't know if I should do woodworking with it or barbecue with it. I don't know.
Right. And that was the comment he made. Yeah,
first choice is make a project. If it doesn't work out, barbecue.
Yeah, he's iron firewood.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, that was a really fun time. I got to see Sterling Davis and Mitchell Dillman. Mitchell Dillman just lives like an hour and a half from me. He lives in Colorado Springs, and when Sterling was in town, we all met up at his place, and that was fun. I could have stayed there all day just goofing off right there. But.
Yeah, I like Mitchell. He's got a lot of attitude, you know, great personality.
Yeah, he is. He's a great guy.
Well, what about exotic wood? You got any exotic woods that you like?
You know, they as far as I do a lot of turning projects with some of that, but those things they tend to be pretty expensive, like cocobolo and some of those rosewoods like that. And so far, knock on wood, so to speak, I have not had any allergy problems with those woods. You know, I've been with some friends doing turning, and they've had some just horrific reactions like to cocobolo before. So you really got to be careful. You know, I felt really bad because I gave it to them, and they were so excited to turn it, you know, and man, the next day they were just hives all over them. So really
man.
Be careful.
Yeah. Now, is that the wood that has the holes literally all in it?
I don't know. Not what I've done with. It's just a really pretty. There's different ones. There's some that's darker, but I really like it's almost orange. It's just bright orange color, and it's just really pretty. But again, that stuff's pretty expensive, so I wouldn't be making furniture out of that or anything. But you can make a pen out of it. You know, that's not too bad. But
what is the most interesting wood you ever worked with?
Oh goodness, I don't know. I think if you've ever seen quarter sawn sycamore, it's surprisingly beautiful that way. And I guess it has to be quarter sawn. It kind of looks like that leopard wood in a way. I don't think I have anything out here of that, but I've worked with that one time, and it's really pretty. It's amazing what it looks like. If you ever get a chance to get some of that and try it out, it'd be worth your while. So I don't see that wood around where I live very often, but this guy had some that he was selling some, and I bought it one time.
I remember trying to turn some flaming box elder. But it was just so flaky. I was afraid to turn it because I thought it'd break on me, you know.
Yeah.
I probably have to get that stabilized or something. But I love the colors of it. It's nice.
Yeah, that flaming color. Yeah, I've seen that. It's pretty.
Now,
So
one
what's-
question I like to ask people is, what is that one project that you really wanting to do, but yet something is holding you off?
Oh goodness, I don't know.
It
You
used
know,
to be the grandfather's clock.
it's not a really compelling desire, but I always thought I would one day make the rocking chair. What's his name for
The
Pete's sake?
Maloof rocker.
You know, it's molded. Yeah, the Maloof
Maloof
style
rocker.
rocker. Yes,
Sculpted rocker.
right, exactly. And I've actually personally, and not just on YouTube, I've seen people who've done that project, and it really is a neat project. But you got to take your time and do that as a long project. Unless you have full time all day long, but take you a while to get that done. But it's just really beautiful when it's done. How that style of rocker looks, and so I guess I'm not right there ready to do it yet, but that's something down the road maybe I'd love to do. Let's do that. And I think Joe, oh goodness, he's from overseas. I
Whitaker?
think he.
Joe
I'm sorry?
Basement Woodworking.
Average Joe.
Average Joe's joinery. I think he's in the process still of doing that project. It's really neat to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know yours used to be the grandfather's clock, but you already made that.
Well, it was a shaker wood wall clock. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you remember, I made the same one that Norm made way back. I don't know if y'all have seen that. Norm Abrams made a shaker wall clock, and I actually have the book that he put out. Oh goodness, 20 years ago, and it has that project. And I just thought it would be fun to do that project straight out of his plan and follow it to the T, And I made a series of videos doing that. And it's interesting because for me, that was back when I was very new to woodworking, really. I was when I was just getting started. And Norm Abrams at that time, he was the authority on woodworking, because everybody talked about Norm Abrams. And making that project is kind of funny, and I don't mean this in a bad way at all, but some of the way he did things, it was kind of hokey, I'll be honest with you. But it worked out. It worked okay, but you could tell, and I've seen interviews with him of the last few years, and he talks about how he really didn't know a lot about woodworking when he started that show, which was interesting. He just had to kind of figure it out. He was more of a frame guy and a remodeling guy. And so doing woodworking projects was a little new to him, which is kind of funny to think about now because he was learning as he went as well. And anyway, so I actually even deviated from his plan a little bit when I did it, So it's kind of satisfying to, even Norm Abrams had to learn somehow, So it's fun.
Norm was the guy, what's his face, talked to on This Old House, doing the framing and all that.
Yeah.
Now, Jerry Brown wants to know what tool you wish you had that you do not have yet.
That's kind of funny because this is such a basic thing, and I don't have it. It's a router table. I do not have a router table. And there's really no excuse. I just never got one and never rigged it up. I've rigged up a makeshift one here and there when I really needed it, on a board and put it on I put it wherever I could. But it's just like this silly debate in my head because I have so little space that should I actually make a separate table or should I incorporate it with my table saw? And nothing's gotten done for all these years. So that'll probably be soon. I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows?
I don't think I can live without my router table.
Well, and it is kind of funny because I know I would use a lot. I'll use it all the time probably, but I
remember my first router table, made it out of pallets.
Yeah. One of the most basic things for a woodworker to have, probably. But anyway, there you go.
I just put one in the storage building, the same one I made, the first one I made out of pallet wood, 2x4.
There you go.
Yeah.
My first router table was a Craftsman, and it had the Craftsman router with it, and I still have it today.
Yeah, sure, it works fine.
Yeah, it's a little tabletop, probably 16 inches, maybe 18 inches by 24 or something, but it still works to this day.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
why I started out the same way, Russ, with a Craftsman router and a little Craftsman table. I ended up upgrading whenever I put my router into my table saw extension wing. I had that with my old table saw, and then I just recently did that with my new table saw. That's pretty handy to have it right there because it doesn't take up any more room in your shop.
Right. Yeah. And I've thought seriously about doing that. I'd have to get that done, obviously, make it to size. But yeah, sure. What else?
What's your favorite project that you've made so far?
You know, that's a tricky one because they all have their certain thing you like about them. But I made it
this way. Which one was the one that had the least mistakes?
Oh goodness, that's I don't know, man. That was kind of an interesting topic all by itself. Is that it just seems like it's like one. I don't want to make this sound devastatingly bad, but it's like one compromise after another. It just seems like on some projects, man, I messed that up, so I got to fix that, and then you do some more, and you make a mistake again, and so, somebody told me once that a difference between a beginner and a little more advanced is just that he messes up quicker. That's really all the difference is. And then you can get to fixing what you messed up quicker. But, yeah. So I guess I don't know of them. Go ahead.
I've learned more from figuring out how to cover up what I screwed up than I have anything else.
Right, exactly. But, I think probably the projects that were the most frustrating was before I learned some of the basics. And like four-squaring your lumber. I mean, that is such a basic thing. And try doing, when you don't know that, and you run wood through the planer before, it's just going to follow the curve of the other side of the wood. You don't figure that out until you mess it up a few times. You're like, why is this tabletop so messed up? It's not flat, Well, it wasn't flat. It just followed the other side of the floor, Yeah, so when I got that figured out and got that down, that made such a difference in things, how it turned out, You got to start right, finish right. Yeah.
You go buy your wood from Lowe's or someplace, and you just assume it's square.
Right.
Put it together. Well, why is this thing wobbly?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, those are all those things you learn along the way. When I was first starting out, you mentioned the big box store, and I forget what it was. It wasn't Home Depot back then. It was Builder Square, I think it was called. And, they sold hardwoods, but it's just like they sell them today. It's like an arm and a leg for this stuff. And I was like, I was just about ready to give up on woodwork. I can't afford to do this, Then you discover some other avenues to get wood, and it's like, oh, well, this isn't all. It's still expensive, but it's not that expensive, So that's kind of funny to think about now. But, I mean, some of the projects I first started with, I bought that really expensive wood, so it was like you were working with gold because it was so expensive. You were really careful. But I don't know if it made any difference in the quality of the project, but there you go.
Okay, so I know you turn, and I know you build furniture and all kinds of nice-looking crafts. But what's your favorite kind of woodworking? Is it flat work or is it round work?
A lot of people say if you try doing wood turning, you'll never go back to the other. I've heard that, and that for me that was never true. The thing about wood turning, I think, and it's obvious perhaps to us that do it, is it's just the gratification is pretty quick. You turn it, you finish it, and you got it. It's right there and doing just an hour or two, whereas sometimes the other projects take a lot longer than that. So I think they all have their place, and so you know, I don't think I'll give up any of it. That's the problem. I keep adding things for doing now, but anyway, you know, that's the thing. I see what other woodwork, what do they call it, where they make the resin pen blanks. That is the freaking coolest thing I've ever seen, what they do with some of that. But I'm hesitant to jump on board that because I don't have enough time to even do what I'm doing now. So, but you know, I'm easily captivated by some of that and want to get going in it. But it's fun, a lot of fun.
What was your most challenging project that you've done?
Again, it's hard to say. You know, there's been a lot that it just along the way. You know, you learn as you go. So, I don't know the ugly stool I made. That's what most people call it. Now I can't remember the name, but it was that stool that I built with 3 legs and oh goodness, I'm sorry, I can't remember the guy's name, but it was the name of the guy who designed that way back in the 60s, and it had a lot of compound dovetail joinery and things like that. Excuse me. And that was just the challenge of it, was the joinery more than anything else. And you had to cut these big pieces of walnut with curves and different things. So that was a challenge in the sense of I had never done anything like that before, but it was a total enjoyment process going through it. So it wasn't challenging, you know, like in a begrudging way. It was just, I'd never done some of that before. So it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Okay, let's see, what other questions? We got any more questions?
Yeah, I got one for you now. But I'm going to have to put you on the spot, though, so you got to remember somebody's name.
Okay.
Okay. If you had a chance to do a collaboration with another woodworker, who would it be and why, and what would you like to do with them?
Boy, these questions they're specific questions, but it's hard to answer specifically. It really is. There's so many. I'd do a project with any of y'all. I really would, because I believe you learn something from the beginner's beginner. You will, if you work
totally
with them.
With that. Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, hopefully some people will learn something from me too. I don't claim to be the expert on much of anything as far as woodworking goes. It's just, you know, I just enjoy it, and that's the main point of all of this. If this became something I didn't enjoy, I'm telling you right now, I would stop doing it, because I'm certainly not making any of that. You know, it's
what would you make with that person if you had a person to choose from?
I'm sorry, what? I didn't hear the first part.
What project would you choose if you had a certain person to work with?
You know, I think whatever their specialty would be. You know, we talked about Mitchell Dillman. He makes log furniture and log benches and indoor furniture too. He made, when we were there that day we went up, he had a couple projects he had just finished. It's just really cool. You know, he had a picnic table with, you know, the live edge pine slabs that he'd put together, and he had also an indoor kitchen table that was glued together, big, thick, like 2.5, 3 inches thick piece. It was really neat. So for example, if I was going to do something with him, I'd want to do what he specializes in, and that would definitely be what he specializes in what he does. So, you know, I don't know. Sorry I can't answer a better direct question there, but you know, I enjoy so many different types of woodworking. It'd just be whatever they do well. I would like to learn from them. That's what I would do.
Have you done any metal work?
Not really. You know, no welding or anything like that. That would be neat to be able to do that as well. I've seen some things that people do. It's just amazing. It's really neat. And he's part of that as well. You've seen the stuff he does.
Right.
He kind of combines those two together to make his furniture. It's pretty neat.
Have you ever combined wood and concrete?
I have not, but I've seen what people do with that too, and it's pretty neat. Yeah, I have not done that, no. Not to my recollection, unless you're leading a question there. I don't remember doing anything with
No.
concrete. No.
It's just I remember seeing Sean Rubino do something with concrete and wood, and I thought that was pretty cool. So I figured I'd ask you if you'd done the same.
No, I haven't, but it'd be neat.
I think Brian ought to put a concrete Celtic knot into a pin.
Oh yeah, you want to see sparks? That'd be interesting, but no.
He kind of scared me when he went to look.
Start thinking.
That's dangerous when he starts doing that.
You know, I've had you on for an interview before, and pretty much asked the same questions, but you know, doing it for so long, you kind of like run through them all real quick. So I'm just trying to cover up what most people would want to ask.
Sure.
I got a question.
Go ahead, Russ. Sorry.
What is your extensive as far as turning? What have you turned? Like bowls, pens? What kind of stuff have you turned thus far?
Yeah, I mean, I've done some bowls. I mean, I really haven't got into that too far, but I actually took a turning class at the community college here one year, and we got through all that stuff, you know. So I had a taste of most of the different types of turning that way. And turning bowls is a whole different deal from turning other things, you know. It takes a certain practice to it. And I definitely loved doing it. It was a lot of fun. But honestly, at home, I haven't done too much of that, I guess. It just I just haven't. But, you know, I've made all kinds of spindle work, I guess, if I think about it, you know. Pens and rolling pins and, yeah, lamps and
bats.
You know, what's that? I never have done a bat. You know that? I never done a bat. No, but that would be something that probably would be fun. Yeah, absolutely.
So you basically do woodworking just for your pleasure and for your home, right?
Mostly, yes. Occasional projects here and there, you know, and people want you to, or if you feel like doing something to sell it. But mostly it's just for me, yeah.
Have you done any flea markets or farmers markets?
No, I haven't. I still have it, an Etsy store, Etsy website, you know, and I haven't sold anything in quite a while on there, to be honest. But I sold some things at one time. It was actually fairly active, just simple projects, you know, craft type stuff mostly is what sold. You know, and sometimes you just do this for therapy, probably most of the time. And I've been known to come out in the garage and just knock a birdhouse out or something. You know, just something to do, to occupy your mind and your hands, and there's nothing wrong with that. And it's kind of funny that sometimes those are the things that sell more so than something you labored over extensively. It's kind of funny. You just use some old worn out wood and put a birdhouse together, and people love it.
Now, do you consider yourself a hobbyist woodworker or what?
I suppose, yes. You know, I don't, like I said earlier, I don't make much money doing this. Mostly I spend money doing it, but I suppose it depends how you look at it. I save money, I suppose. If I was to buy the furniture of that quality and so forth, it would be more expensive, I guess. But
well, and Jerry Brown wants to know, why is your backdrop so clean and all your tools just perfectly in order and all that?
Well, it's a very select view I've put up behind me. That's why it's it's not like that everywhere in here. Definitely not. Yeah.
Oh, did you get an X-Carve, Chris?
I did. Yes, I have it.
Have you done anything with it?
Not in a while. I haven't. I'm careful what I say here. It's just I enjoy it when I have time to work it, but it does seem like it takes a lot of time, at least for me, to get the plans and work it out and get it working and actually do the project. But it's an interesting technology for sure.
So I could take it if you showed us a picture of your X-Carve right now. I bet you it'd have stuff laid out all over top of it.
Oh yeah, it's got any vertical or horizontal flat surface, man.
It's covered.
It's prime real estate to put junk on. It seems like you got to fight that constant battle to keep that from happening.
I hear you. Same here. If you
Yeah.
ain't using it, it gets cluttered.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and when I was offered that, if I got that for free, if everybody doesn't already understand that, the company offered that to me, and I was just I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe they were going to send me this thing, and so of course they said, well, pick what you want. Well, I didn't know what I wanted, so I picked the biggest of everything, the best, the biggest, and then this thing is huge, like 4x4 feet. It takes a lot of room up, so I'm still figuring that out, I guess, honestly.
Tell me about it. I was like,
yeah.
Bigger, go home. Well, ordered the biggest. It came, and I was like, holy cow, that took up half my shop.
Yeah. I was humbled that they would even offer me something like that. That's amazingly generous, but it is big.
Yeah, it is. Let's see. Any other questions, Shane?
No, I don't see nothing. TJ's getting a roll call from everybody, finding out where everybody's from right now.
Oh,
so where's everybody at on the panel here? Where y'all from?
Texas.
North Carolina.
Arkansas. Woo pig.
I'm in Denver, Colorado.
And I'm in North Dakota.
We got a pretty good sampling.
Go to Woodworkers on YouTube, under the pinned post, there's a link to a map.
Yeah.
You can go over there and pin yourself and find out where everybody else is at.
Yeah, absolutely. That's if everybody would do that, that would really be a neat tool. So if you're going on vacation somewhere or something, you can just stop and see some woodworkers, man. That would be neat.
So, Chris,
That's a good idea.
who came up with that idea? I never did figure out who made it.
Well, I think I did. I remember after Sterling came, I thought that would be really neat if I knew. I see woodworkers all the time, but I don't, there's so many. I don't keep track of where they're from. And if I just look at that, because occasionally I travel for work and things. So if I was in an area where there was one, I would absolutely stop by if they would have me and see them, do a few pictures or whatever, it'd be fun. It sure was fun when I got the opportunity to do it. So
hang out, drink a Dr. Pepper. Yeah.
That's it.
Well, heck.
If Sterling was there, he needed to drink Dr. Pepper out of a mason jar.
Yeah. Right.
Hey, we're from North Carolina. What do you want? We need a mason jar.
And it ain't the little mason jars either. It's the big ones.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you like the acrylics and aluminum lights. Is there anything else that you'd like to experience with that you would integrate it with your woodworking?
That's a good question. It's amazing. I guess I just talked on that because I'd seen like Dima does some of that and other people, and it's just so cool, when they take the spare pieces of burl and put acrylic around it, and then they make a blang, and it looks so pretty and so neat. that's why I brought that up, I guess. And I thought, man, I want to do that, but I know myself, and that's just me going, yeah, let's do it. I already got a shop full of things I wanted to do that I haven't really pursued. It's the same thing when I saw those router bowls, where you make the router bowl, a bowl with the router bits and all that. I have all that, and I haven't ever used it. So no excuse. I guess I need to do that sometime here soon. Like so many things, but yeah, a lot of neat stuff to do.
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, I just loved the way the grain pattern was on wood. And then I see marble, and looking at marbled tops and stuff like that, or marbled flooring.
Yeah.
And it just amazed me. I don't know why, but I love that kind of stuff. I love the way it looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris, you was talking about the worthless wood type castings and stuff. I actually just got my vacuum chamber in yesterday
Awesome.
with the pump and stabilizing resin, and I've got some of that burl wood, and I actually bought some Chula cactus today on eBay,
Awesome.
so I'm going to cast some of that. So just a little shout out or a little plug real quick if
Oh, wow. You
anybody
got
watching wants to.
chamber, huh?
Yeah. Yep. So
Awesome.
coming up soon on my YouTube channel, you'll see me casting and turning a few different things like what Chris was just talking about.
I'm looking forward to it.
Very.
He's in business now. We've got to get our orders in, boys.
Yeah, there's a local.
I got to get laid back now.
A local place by me. There's a local store I actually discovered not too long back that actually, I don't know what you would call it, but they have all kinds of things. They have like the Lumilite and that stuff in the store, but they also have, it's like a plastic store. I don't know what else to call it. They have, the resin rods of all colors and all this. This is like a candy store,
Oh, wow.
and it's just different. I don't know how the prices there compare to just ordering like a Lumilite straight from the company versus them. So I'm not sure on all that, but they have just about anything as far as resin that I could think of, at least, in that place. So it's pretty neat. That's a whole different thing to do, I guess. Another hobby right there,
Right. Yeah. Zach Higgins has built his almost entire YouTube channel around that, and he does some really cool stuff.
Right.
Him and what's the other fellow that's always casting stuff in resin?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Peter Brown, Shop Time.
Yeah, Peter Brown.
Yeah.
That'd be me. I'd be finding all sorts of things. Probably some things that would get me in trouble.
He's just, I don't know. Some people say we all have creativity. We just need to figure out how to use it. But he is like, where do you think of this stuff? And it is cool. I mean, when he does it, but it's like, wow, how would he think of that, to try that? But anyway, yeah, I like Peter's stuff. It's neat.
Yeah.
I'd be that fella that got kicked off of YouTube because I was casting live ants in resin.
Wow.
Talk about that. When I was a kid, I used to have a belt buckle with a scorpion inside it.
Right,
Oh, wow.
right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
I remember those.
Okay, we got a question from Dan Ingwood to everybody on the panel. What is the oldest piece of equipment you have in your shop? And for me, I think mine's just a little palm sander. I think I got it from the pawn shop, but I've already upgraded, got me a better palm sander, so I don't use that one no more.
Oldest piece of equipment or tool?
Let's see. He's saying the oldest piece of equipment. So I don't know.
I thought a tool was a piece of equipment.
Yeah, I think of equipment like a power tool, something that, at least you plug in or has a battery. A tool to me, I mean, it could be like a hand tool or whatever. For me, the oldest, I'll just go tool. the oldest tool in my shop is either a number 5 Stanley plane. It's like a round a World War II type plane, or I've got my grandpa's old hammer. I don't know which one of those is older, but my grandpa's old claw hammer, which I love. That's one of my very few prized possessions in the world.
Yeah, same here. I got my grandpa's hammer and a few other tools. But for equipment, God, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying,
I
I've
mean,
got some hand tools.
I got this old plane. I don't know what you call it. I think it's a joining plane. It's made out of wood. It's about 24 inches long. It's not all together. I got to get parts for it, but that's about the oldest that I have.
Chris, what about you? What's the oldest you got?
I'm guessing it's probably what I said earlier in my table saw. 1951 was manufactured, but you know, I have other stuff that I enjoy. Like, I don't know, I just literally love the Yankee screwdrivers, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those aren't terribly old. I imagine they're from the 60s or 70s probably, but I have all 3 sizes of those, you know, stuff like that. That's fun to use. But yeah.
But Dan said he's found a working 1933 Wagner Turner saw at a yard sale for only $5. Damn,
Wow.
can't beat that.
Yeah, Wagner Turner, I guess, is pretty big for people that restore tools. Those are a big deal, I guess. They really love to get those. But,
Wagner Turner or Walker Turner?
oh, maybe it's Walker I'm thinking of, yeah.
Okay, he said Wagner Turner, but yeah, it
Yeah.
might be Walker.
Okay.
Yeah, the place I used to work in their motor repair shop, they had a big Walker Turner drill press. It was like it was a 20-inch drill press and had like a 8-inch travel on the quill. Man, that thing was a monster.
Well,
Yeah.
if Walker Turner is the one you're after, then it being a Wagner Turner may be what with $5.
Oh, man.
Made in
Yeah.
China.
Wagon.
Sorry, Dan. Yeah, he just said Walker. Sorry.
Now, I got a friend, Chris Blitzko. I know he also has an old table saw. I can't remember exactly but no, I take that wasn't Chris. It was now Chris, now you got me forgetting names. But he got an old table saw that it takes the actual 12-inch table saw blades on it.
Yeah.
Well, I know John. Oh God,
Come on, you know who it is.
Old man disease.
Jim Steinbrecher. He's got a table saw that's so old that his blades are like 7 1/4 inch blades or
Wow.
8 inch.
Dang.
I can't remember. All I know is it's really small, and it's a cast iron saw, but it's old.
Mm. Dang.
That doesn't matter. You use paper for blades anyway now. So
Yeah. It's Bob Lee from Bob Lee's workshop. He has it. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure, Chris. We're
Well, me
coming
too. Thank you.
into
I
that.
really enjoyed it.
Do we got any more questions for Chris, guys?
I don't see nothing else in here. Yeah, that looks like we all caught up on my end. But Chris, I enjoyed this. I learned a lot from you tonight. Appreciate it.
Well, thanks. I enjoyed it as well. Thank you.
Yeah, it was good talking to you again.
What are your plans for the rest of the year? Are you gonna do any projects this year that you're gonna surprise us with?
2x4 challenge.
Absolutely. I think I'm gonna do the 2x4 challenge first. I don't know if I'll get to the birdhouse challenge, but well, I got to figure out what I'm gonna do, but I can't miss that. Got to do that. So
I want to get a 2x4 and build a birdhouse out of it and get just
there you go. Yeah.
They have to be unique for each entry. Yeah.
I don't
So-
ever have any pretenses I'm gonna win the challenge, but it's fun to do it, so that's why I do it. I remember I made the pizza cutter last year.
Yeah.
That was a fun project, and
Flying saucer.
I go for the laughs. You know, I don't go for the win.
I tell you what I'm gonna do.
What else did you make? I know you did a
Oh.
birdhouse.
Yeah. The little wagon for blocks I made one year, and
Yeah, that was good.
I don't remember, but yeah, I never made a guitar or nothing.
Steve Carmichael. Him and Jerry, I feel that are pretty much alike in as far as thinking of the project.
Yeah.
You remember, Steve Carmichael did the acoustic guitar, but Jerry, he did the electric guitar, but you know, he just kept it as the 2x4, made a piggy bank out of it.
Right.
Like the Whirligig contest, he did AC/DC, Jerry did, and Steve Carmichael did Kiss. You know,
Yeah,
so
that was amazing, that one.
they kind of like work off that same, you know, brainwave.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I know what I can do. I can build a birdhouse out of a 2x4, then take the birdhouse and build a 2x4 out of the birdhouse.
There you go.
There you go. If that's the way you're gonna rock it, good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have a video out on the prizes probably by, I'd say Monday at the latest. I'll try to get it out by Sunday at least.
Cool.
And next week we're going to have Carl Jacobson on here.
Yay!
I don't know what he's planning on doing. I don't know if we'll do an interview or if we're going to do a project. But I'd like to see a project from Carl. That'd be nice. Because last time we had him on here, he did an interview. Well, no, it wasn't an interview. It was more like him telling us what kind of tools do what and whatnot. You know, because I was basically at the time wanting to know how to turn, and I wanted to know what kind of tools he used for what, you know. So he gave us a rundown on that and how to sharpen them and whatnot. But I'd like to see him do a project on.
That'll be fun.
I look forward to seeing him on. It was good having you on tonight, Chris.
Well,
Yeah,
thanks.
Chris. I wish you'd be more of the panel like the old days.
Yeah, I'll try to get on here more often. But it was fun back then, wasn't it? We had a bunch of goofballs mostly, but it was fun anyway.
Hey.
Goofballs ain't much names, Anheuser.
Yeah, I gotta say, you saying Brian's not a goofball?
No.
I'm not saying anything like that, no.
Anyway, that's what we got planned for next week, guys. Thanks for watching. And you guys that are on the panel, thanks for being part of the show tonight.
I enjoyed it,
And
Brian.
Chris, like I said, it's a pleasure, and I want you on here more.
Thanks.
Anyway, adios.